What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Chris. I'm by myself. I'm in my room. It's 2 a.m., and the craziest trade in NBA history just happened. We have a flight, and we're leaving in about 4 hours, so I got to go to sleep. But I had all the equipment here. Had to get a video out for you guys, just my instant thoughts and reactions to Luka Doncic heading to the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Davis going to the Dallas Mavericks. The full trade details are Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris heading over to the Lakers. Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first-round pick going to the Mavericks. And the third team that made it all happen is the Utah Jazz with Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2025 Clippers second, and a 2025 Mavericks second going to the Jazz. And I mean, we were just out, me and the boys, and the bar just went speechless when this happened. There was a Mavs fan there with us. Shout out Brian Newman. Brian Newman had to go home because he just didn't know how to act. We all thought it was fake at first. The whole world thought it was fake at first. We all thought Shams got hacked, but this is real. And what makes this the craziest trade in NBA history is just the way it came out of nowhere. I mean, I'm a big Mavs guy. If you guys have been following the podcast for a while, you guys all know I'm a big Luka Doncic guy. That's probably my favorite player in the entire NBA right now. And I was of the belief that he was going to be a Maverick for life. And now he's headed to the Lakers, man. Let's break this down. From the Mavs side of things, I just, like, again, this is 2 hours after the trade. That's why I'm stuttering a little over my words. These are my raw reactions. I can't fathom it. I can't fathom it. This is a team that went to the finals last year, the NBA finals. They have a 25, about to turn 26-year-old superstar who could be the face of the NBA, and they trade him away. And you're trading him away for a 31-year-old dude who, listen, Anthony Davis is great. He's probably having the best year of his career right now, but Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic are two different tiers of players, and you could be the biggest Anthony Davis fan in the world. You'd be delusional to not accept that fact that these guys are two completely different tiers of players. And it just makes me wonder what was going on behind the scenes because, again, the trade broke at exactly 12 a.m. here in New York, Eastern time. It's, again, about 2 o'clock now in the morning, so it's been like 2 hours. And as the news keeps breaking and breaking, we got from Shams that the Mavericks approached the Lakers and recently offered Luka Doncic. This is a quote from Shams. Lakers brass met and believe the 25-year-old Doncic has the ability to be the face of their franchise for the next decade, while giving Anthony Davis a win-now move in Dallas. And it just, I'm sorry, guys. You got to bear with me a second. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because the reports are also saying that the Mavericks were disgruntled with Luka's conditioning and all that stuff and his ability to stay on the court, and they weren't sure if they wanted to give him a supermax with that coming up. I don't even know when Luka's contract is up. It definitely wasn't at the end of this year, so maybe the following summer. But again, this is a guy who just led you to the NBA Finals at age 25. This is a guy who has the potential to be the best player in all of basketball. At times has looked like the best player in all of basketball. He led the NBA playoffs in every single statistic over the course of last playoffs. And I wonder if Luka was disgruntled with the Mavericks, but also I wouldn't understand why either, because again, this is a team that just went to the finals. They traded for Kyrie. They traded for P.J. Washington. They traded for Daniel Gafford. They brought in Clay. They brought in Quentin Grimes. They brought in Najee Marshall. This is a team that, those first few years, after the Porzingis trade were a little bit rocky for the Mavericks, but they've made every move that you could possibly make to keep a guy like Luka happy. So I wouldn't understand why Luka would be unhappy there. But again, I can't see the Mavericks wanting to get rid of that caliber of player. You don't get rid of that caliber of player. I mean, they must have they must have been under the belief that he was going to leave whenever his contract is up. And honestly, they probably thought he would have went to Los Angeles. I mean, we've heard, I think Kevin O'Connor reported this summer that the Lakers had their eyes on Luka Doncic, and it was again a team that's coming off the NBA Finals. I'm going to keep mentioning it. It's you look at that and you're like, whatever. Like Kevin O'Connor just reporting some BS, but I mean, clearly the Lakers have had their eye on Luka Doncic, and the Mavericks are still a fun team. They're a good team. Kyrie playing some of the best basketball of his life. Like I mentioned, Anthony Davis playing some of the best basketball of his life. They'll probably still get into the playoffs. It'll be a tough out. I think Kyrie and AD together is an awesome duo. It's just these are two guys who, when they've been asked to be the number one, they failed. Kyrie in Boston was a failure in Boston. Like it just didn't work. Anthony Davis, we've been waiting years and years and years for him to take the reins from LeBron and be the best player and lead them to the promised land, and it hasn't happened the way we wanted to. Even though again he's playing some of the best ball of his life, we all have questions about can Anthony Davis be the best player on a championship team. I'm sure we all still have those questions. So the Mavs have two great supporting superstars with Kyrie and AD, but this team doesn't have enough to contend. Not in the Western Conference. Not with teams like the Thunder led by Shea. Not against teams like the Nuggets led by Jokic. Not against a team like the Lakers led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The Dallas Mavericks just don't have enough to compete. You had again a guy who could be the best player in basketball. It seemed like he loved it there. Again, I can only speculate that something was going on behind the scenes with Luka. Again, I just can't believe that the Mavericks just the Mavericks just wanted to go out and trade him. So I believe Luka was a little bit disgruntled there, but I just don't understand it. From the Lakers side of things, this is an A plus 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 plus. I mean, sure, they don't have a center on their roster. I saw an ESPN post their projected lineup for the Lakers is Jackson Hayes starting at center. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you just traded for the guy who, like I mentioned, this is what Anthony Davis was supposed to be. You were supposed to be getting a guy who could take the reins from LeBron when LeBron decides his time is up, and the Laker way going from Kareem to Magic to Shaq to Kobe to LeBron. Anthony Davis was supposed to be that next guy, but he didn't meet those expectations. Now you go get a guy in Luka Doncic who there's no questions about this guy. I'm sorry. I know everyone's going to point to his conditioning and his defense. This is the guy. Like Luka Doncic, there's no reason why he can't be the best player in basketball. He's a top 3 player in the world. That's unquestionable. You can't argue with that. If anyone tries to tell you otherwise, they're just flat out wrong. You can't name 3 basketball players better than Luka Doncic, and we praised Luka for playing in a similar way to a prime LeBron in the way of being a big guard in a sense or a point forward, however you want to phrase it. Luka Doncic, there's a lot of LeBron in his game, and now gets to play with LeBron and pick his brain and learn from him and figure out how to take that next step and get over that hump, because we all know LeBron knows how to get over that hump. So now Luka Doncic could learn behind a guy like LeBron James and be the next Lakers superstar and take this team to the promised land. And again, there's questions on the Lakers roster right now. Like I mentioned, they really don't have any big men help right now, but still a few weeks until the trade deadline. They can make some moves to, solidify that spot, at least for the time being this offseason. But you have the franchise cornerstone. The question with the Lakers was, regarding their future was, what's going to happen when LeBron's done? Are they going to trade Anthony Davis and try and reaccumulate some picks and rebuild this thing from the ground up? Because, again, Anthony Davis hasn't shown the ability to be that level of player, now you have the guy. And we've seen with Luka Doncic, he doesn't need much to be a playoff team. He's a playoff team by himself, basically. And it's the Lakers. It's the Los Angeles market. He Any star would want to go play with a guy like Luka Doncic. I know people are going to say, oh, Luka's always dribbling the ball and no, players aren't going to want to play there. I promise you, NBA players want to play with Luka Doncic. He's one of, if not the best passer in the entire NBA. It's easy shots for everyone there. Ask Kyrie, ask Klay Thompson. They know. Ask PJ Washington. They know what it's like playing with a guy like Luka Doncic. So, I mean, this is a home run for the Lakers. You have the next guy in the building. You have your franchise cornerstone for when LeBron decides his time is up. And again, he gets to learn from a guy like LeBron James. So I can't believe this happened. It came out of nowhere. The KD trade a few years ago, we kind of knew, like, once they traded Kyrie in Brooklyn, we knew KD was going to go. So that was shocking. It was late at night like this. I did a video like this. It was shocking. The Kyrie trade was shocking. But we knew Kyrie wanted out. Kyrie and Brooklyn, they just weren't on the same page. No one knew Luka Doncic potentially wanted out of Dallas. I know Anthony Davis did that long sit-down with ESPN where he was saying, oh, I need a center next to me. But no one knew Anthony Davis potentially wanted out of L.A. He was playing with LeBron. That was the dream for Anthony Davis. Looking back before Anthony Davis got there, the destination was the Lakers. Anthony Davis wanted to go play with LeBron. So this was just absolutely shocking. Again, I really can't fathom that this just happened. Like, the Mavericks called the Lakers and said Luka Doncic is up for grabs. Those are the reports. Again, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. I really don't know how true. Like, I personally, I just can't believe that. Like, I can't believe that the Mavericks called first and said Luka Doncic is up for grabs. I'm shocked. That was a shock to the NBA basketball world. I think we needed something like that. I know we were all thirsty for a trade. We thought it was going to be De'Aaron Fox, but again, a top 3 player in basketball goes to the biggest market in all of basketball. That's everything you could want as a basketball fan. As a content creator, I mean, the content that people are going to be posting for the next few days, we'll probably try. So, like I mentioned, we have a flight tomorrow morning. We're heading to New Orleans to do some Super Bowl stuff. There you go, spoiler alert. We haven't told you guys about that, but we'll try our hardest to get some type of sit down. I'll get the guys with me, and we'll kind of further discuss this once we digest it a little bit, I guess you could say. But those are my instant raw reactions to the trade. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this trade. Let me know who you think won this trade. I mean, I think you clearly got to say the Lakers won the trade. Again, they got a top 3 player in all basketball for, again, respect Anthony Davis, a guy who just isn't in that tier as a basketball player. He's just not that type of guy. So I think the Lakers clearly won the trade. But let me know down in the comments who you guys think won the trade. Let me know down in the comments your reactions to the trade, I guess, just how you're feeling, your raw reactions as well. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check out some of our other content. Like I mentioned, going to be in New Orleans, a bunch of Super Bowl content dropping, so be on the lookout for that. And with that, ball game.